Hey guys, welcome back to Let's Talk Marriage.
Where we speak marriage through transparency. Now, you know something, let me tell you, I get sick of all of these audio things and all this stuff that we have to do because let me tell you, you guys don't understand that in the background, the things that go on are just, sometimes it's beyond me. We could do everything right, and then the computer would just say, I don't feel like working.
I don't think so.
I don't feel like working. And then so we're sitting here looking crazy sometimes, and then you guys say, "Oh, I can't hear you," and I'm just like, "We tested everything, and then it's still, I don't know." But anywho, welcome back to Let's Talk Marriage, and as you guys can see, we are in Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So I have on my pink, and let me tell you, he had on a
Listen,
he had on his pink shirt. It was little polka dots, but he's gotten a little, a little huskier, working out. So it wouldn't go over his arms. So
it
I'm
was
like,
too tight.
it was too tight. And I was like,
The button was holding on with dear life.
I'm like, we're not.
No.
You're not gonna pop out and just show all your glory to the people.
Not on live.
So not on live. So in honor of Breast Cancer Awareness Month, we did some little pink stuff here, just to honor breast cancer awareness. So you guys make sure if you are women to go out and get your mammograms, get your checks. I went and had a mammogram done last year. No, wait a minute. It was 2 years ago because you have to do it when you're 40. And I was so afraid. I was like, oh my God, I don't want my breast in this machine smashed like a pancake. But it was not anything like that. I had to calm myself. It was actually, it wasn't that bad. The lady that I had that actually did the work, she was really, really gentle. I was smashed down like a pancake, but not so bad. And it turned out really, really good. So nothing's wrong here. The breasts are fine. But it's very imperative that you go and at least check to see if there is anything, if there's anything. So we encourage you all to go and do that. So we also are, where are we? We are on all social platforms. So some of the social platforms are what, babe?
Oh, we have Anchored, we have Spotify,
Uh-huh.
we have Apple,
Radio.
Radio, Google Podcasts.
Uh-huh.
What else? One more. I'm missing somebody. Sorry.
We're
Google.
also
I think Google
on.
already.
You did say Google. We're also on Reddit. A lot of people don't know about
yes,
Reddit.
yes,
Like you
yes.
guys, Reddit allows you to do so much more than what Facebook allows you to
Yes.
do. It's really, really crazy, but I love Reddit. You can retweet things. It's like a Twitter and Facebook mixed in together.
And you ask questions and get an answer for me.
Yeah, you ask a lot of questions and people respond. I really, really do enjoy actually coming on to Reddit. Natasha Deloach, we love you too. Thank you so much for being a part of the show. So, with that being said, without further ado, today is about the responsibilities and roles of a woman.
Ooh.
Ooh. So we can only speak for ourselves because everybody's responsibility and roles may be a little different as it pertains to your house. We also want to come with some scriptures as well because we always want to do what the Bible tells us to do. We, sometimes want to get out here and do things on our own. And we're always asking for direction and leadership. And the best place to get the information that you need, and the best place to learn anything is always for me is going into that Bible.
Oh yes.
So I see that you wrote some questions down for me. Since it's the role of a woman, what
Why would not ask questions?
I see you got your
That
little
is
questions
my
over to the
opportunity
side.
to get it out.
But first, before we do that, can we do this? Can you, because we have a theme of how we're going to get into that.
Correct.
Can you first just tell the people why, or when you, because we're going to go into the Proverbs 31. That's where usually everyone goes. But I wrote some things down. I have a whole sheet here that I wrote. I wrote some notes.
Been busy.
So I've been busy.
Yes.
So can you go ahead and tell the people why you even wanted to marry me?
Number one, I just knew she was my wife. It's funny when I tell her the story, she think I be lying sometimes. But when I first met her, I didn't know her. I just saw her.
Yeah, of course you didn't know me.
I mean, all I remember was she came to church.
Mm-hmm.
My brother prayed for her and said, "Oh, you are love." I'm looking like, oh, whatever. Never thought nothing about it. About 2 more years later, she walked in the church, and before she even walked in the building, I felt her. And when she walked in, I'm on the drums playing the drums, and I just felt her voice say, "There she go." She walked in, I said, "Oh, there she go for real." I was like a kid in the candy store waiting to pick up the candy. I'm like, oh my goodness, have my daughter with me. Walk up to her, she looked at me like I'm crazy. I'm looking at her like I was stuck with words, didn't know what to say. I said, "Well, hi, my name is X, Y, and Z." She looked at me like,
your name was X, Y, and Z, or your
well,
name was Ilias?
My name was Ilias. How it goes?
It was, or it is?
Or it is Ilias. And I'm looking at her like, what the world should I say? I was literally tongue tied at that time. And she probably looked at me like, this mingy, dirty face. My hair was growing, my hair was nappy, had no haircut. My daughter sitting right next to me with these little thick bows in her hair.
She matched you. You must have done her hair.
So the next day I'm like, no, I told my best friend. I said, you know something? That's gonna be my wife. He's like, all right, whatever. I said, you think I'm joking? That could be my wife, and I pursue her ever since then. Right there, and the thing is, after I pursued her, I saw the potential of her wanting to do better, wanting to do something for herself, wanted to subscribe, not just sit there and do nothing. I said, I never want a woman to sit in my house and watch TV. And what she did was she got up, she went to work. And at times I said, something, forget work, go to school, pursue what you really want to pursue, and she did that. And I'm very appreciative of her because she helped me be a better person as well.
Oh, you kind of jumped around. You went from one extreme to the next.
Yes, but it's not just one, it's everything.
You're funny. But yes, you did. You really pursued me. And in your pursuit, I thought that I didn't think you were mangy, but you were a little rough. And in the book that I wrote years ago, I wrote you in as like the Bushman. Man, you had this big old afro and all this. I mean, your beard was you were just a mess. And I'm like, okay.
I was that rose and that bullshit.
Come
you know that. I was that one man that you probably said, he ain't nothing yet.
No, I didn't say that. I was just like, he ain't getting me.
It wasn't for you to get me.
I get it. You're so funny. But no, in that time, especially being like, so since we're talking about the role of a woman, in that moment, in that time, and with all the things that we were doing, I did not understand how to be a woman at all. So I talk a lot about my life before when in previous videos. Those of you who know that I used to be a lesbian, and some people like to say I was bisexual or whatever labels they try to put on me, but I knew what I wanted to do, and I knew what I was. And but maybe again, I really didn't, because it took God to actually rebuild me and to rebuild the woman that I desired to be. So in your pursuit, I really didn't know who I was in that time, and having a man to pursue me the way that you did, it was very different for me. I was scared. I was unsure of myself. I didn't understand it. I was not used to it. I was not used to a man wanting me that much. Usually, back then, when men wanted me, they usually wanted a threesome, or they, wanted multiple women, or they wanted to party with me. It was never to just to get to know me. And you wanted to know parts of me that I was not, or I was afraid to share.
Mhm.
But we got through it.
Yeah, because I
And
wasn't with no threesome, none of that stuff.
no.
I
And
wasn't.
and
No.
16 years later, we're still here. Remember, let me tell you, I said this before, but family is funny. They thought that I had this man doing threesomes. They thought I had him doing cartwheels. They thought I had him doing all sorts of things. But little did they know that we were literally shaping each other. We were helping each other to find out who we were separately,
Correct.
and who we are together. Our relationship has stood the test of time. It's withstanding things that I don't think you and I both knew that we could do. Like, I mean, look, I have great. You see my gray hair?
I
You
got
got
some.
great. You
Yeah.
got gray hair. We're getting older, and we're growing gracefully
Yes, we
together.
are.
It's really it's beautiful. It's a
Yeah.
beautiful thing.
The thing is the reason why I think people were so confused or came up with their own ideology about our relationship because we kept them out of our business. We kept them out of our business. I say out of our business. We didn't talk about nothing to them. We don't know if it wasn't if they didn't live in our four walls, we didn't let them in.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's go ahead and get back to what is the role of a woman. It took me a while to understand this and to actually get to this point. There were a lot of women that I was around, and even some of the relationships that I was in. Some of the things that they did, even though it may not have seemed so favorable to other people, but there were a lot of things that I learned from these women that I dated. And then coming up, actually going to the last church that we attended, there was one woman that was there that I really admired, and I'm just going to share her name. It's Sharilla Nelson, and I watched how she catered to her husband, how she cooked. I even have one of her recipes. I ain't gonna tell nobody, but how she did things with her husband and with the children, and some of the children that were not hers. I watched how she did that, and sometimes you have these women that God will put in your life, and although let's say I may not have been extremely close with her then, but you never know who's watching you.
Right.
I had an example in my grandmother, but that was my grandmother. Like, it seemed, the devil will put things in and say, okay, well, this is your enemy because she didn't like what I was doing. She didn't love you. She didn't this, that, and the other. So I didn't watch her as much as I probably should have. But I was able to see other women that God kind of put into my view, and I learned some things from them. And oftentimes, when you say, well, what is the role of a woman? Our My role that I believe that I am supposed to be to you is to help to meet your unmet expectations, or the expectations that you have for certain things, is to kind of help you to meet that, or to show you how to get there if you don't have some answers sometimes.
Okay.
Also to kind of be trustworthy, like, to be there for you in your time of need. The other day, so he was in an accident the other day, and why are you just sitting there looking like that? He was in an accident the other day, and I heard him on the phone. He was like, "Oh shoot!" He doesn't. My husband doesn't cuss, so his favorite cuss word is foot. So either it's shoot or foot. He does not curse. And so, and I'm like, "What happened?" He was like, "God darn it! I just got in an accident." And so for me, because he's been in so many,
Oh wow.
I just said, well, at least I know the premium is going to be paid, and whatever you need, I'm here. He's like, no, just going on, because this is how often you trail people, and you get into these accidents, and thank God for insurance so that you can pay the things that you need to pay, right? So, how do I meet that need? I wanted to curse you out so bad. I wanted to fuss. And I was with friends, and I just said, they said, well, what's wrong? I said, my husband was in another accident. I was like, another one? Thank God he wasn't hurt. I was like, are you hurt? He was like, no. I said, do I need to come? I was like, is your car drivable? He's like, yes. I was like, okay, well, I'll see when you get home tonight. Make sure that you tell me how much the premium is going to be that you're going to have to pay because you're going to have to get the car fixed. And so arguing and fussing and cussing, it wasn't going to meet his need at that moment. So I just digress. I'm sick of you with these. Anywho, so Proverbs 31 and 11. What does it say about a virtuous woman?
Tell me.
See if I even meet any of these, and let's check them off. You
Go
ready?
ahead.
So it says that she is trustworthy. This is Proverbs 31 and 11. It says that the heart of her husband trusts in her. Does your heart trust me?
Yeah.
In what way?
It's trusted. It. All right.
These are like some hard questions, right?
No, it's not. It's really
No?
easy.
Okay.
I want to word it the right way.
Mm-hmm.
It's because my heart trusts you, because knowing the fact that you will take care of me, you will protect me, you will not guide me wrong, you will give me good advice, and you will listen to me, and I could tell you practically everything with no backlash. Sometimes.
Okay. So one of the things that I've noticed that a lot of women do is um, they are always, and I've witnessed this with myself, pointing the finger at at the man, and sometimes I guess both of us could be wrong, but it's the way you relay the message. How are you relaying the message to the person that they are wrong, or you did not like something that they did? How are we relaying that message? We can't relay it in a way that it's messy and that it's nasty, because what happens is that you end up turning me off, like turning me off in your ear. You don't want to hear it, especially if it's a continuous thing. So even in, like I said, the Bible teaches you how to do this, how to even speak, to your man. So it says here that it's in Proverbs 31 and 26. It says she is careful about what she says. Guarding the tongue is an important theme throughout the book of Proverbs. This is what I've written down here. And in Proverbs 31 and 26, it says that when the woman speaks, she opens her mouth with wisdom, and the teaching of kindness is on her tongue. So we have to be very, very careful with how we speak to our husbands. I wasn't always like that. I used to talk to you reckless.
Oh yes, you did.
I was
I had
reckless.
literally turned you off.
Yeah, oh my God. The cursing was just, it was out of control. I constantly berated you. And I said a bunch of things that were just, it was really uncalled for. How did you even combat that?
I got to the point where I had. Well, to be honest with you, I got to the point I didn't trust you no more.
Okay.
And you knew that. I mean, to the point I didn't tell you nothing. I kept everything to myself because I'm like, if I tell you anything, it's like a fight. Even till I woke up this morning, it's a fight.
Hmm. Even, well, God dang, it was rough in the
Yeah.
beginning
It
being.
was a rough ride.
So how did I regain your trust? How did I regain that?
Well, through fasting and praying and getting counseling ourselves, because we had good counseling.
Yeah.
Waking up and actually seeing ourselves for who we are, it helps us to begin to grow closer again.
Yeah. We really did that. Okay. 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 So it says here also that she is diligent. This is in Proverbs 31 and 13. Says that she works with willing hands. And in verse 15, it says that she rises while it is still night. I don't know if I'm getting up while it's still nighttime, But
You get up during nighttime.
am I diligent with my hands?
No, you very diligent with your hand. If you was not, our kids won't be where they at. Our children will not be where they at today.
Right, right.
So you're very active with your hands, and you're very creative. I'll tell you that. Your imagination is beautiful.
Looks like I might be checking off this list on a Proverbs 31 woman. I always thought that I wasn't because, like, people want to keep you in your past. They want to keep you, locked into this thing of that that I'm not, and I'm going to speak for myself, that I wasn't uh, um, worthy of you. And I would often say, how is it that I'm not when I didn't have any children? I was very careful with that. I didn't want any children before, I was married. I always knew that it took a mother and father. Like I kept that in my mind. So that was a foundation for me. I never wanted to be a baby mom. Um, so I was careful with that. And I never understood how people could tell me that I wasn't worthy of you, but I felt like you wasn't worthy of me. And but then, with putting people out of our business, like you would say, and keeping them out of our ear, it worked for our marriage by just kind of just pushing people just out.
Yeah,
And but it kind of hurt a little bit too because you want family to be around, but sometimes they were just really nasty.
very nasty. That's why in our marriage, I always said, what do we say? What do we say? What do me and your children say about you? Not about what they say about it. And I think people look around them too much for admiration or acknowledgement of who they are, instead of the ones that actually know them, and that's your family. That's in your home with you.
But it took you guys a while to get to know who I was. It took me a minute to know who I was as well. I didn't know this woman that I am now was even there. It took some getting to know. It took some for me to understand even how to get there. I had so many people that were pointing their fingers again at my past instead of looking at where I could be. That's why I always tell people never judge a book by the cover because you never know what the end of the story is going to be. That's why I never judge people.
People read the Bible. People go to. I'm sorry. What I'm learning now, people wait till they get to the church to open their Bible. They do life the same way. They wait till they get to the front of the person to try to read and judge the person, but don't know the person at all. They
Right.
don't try to figure out who the person. What's their name number one? What's your middle name?
Hmm.
I had a friend for almost 20 years. Didn't even know his middle name. I'm like, what the heck? I didn't know you did. You
You
know.
didn't need to know their middle name
But
to
still,
know them.
yeah, if you know a person well, you should know almost everything that you need to know about them to sustain that relationship.
Hmm.
We don't take the time to learn somebody. We learn everything. Like I watch my son. You know everything about TikTok, but tell him grade his schoolwork. Um, and it's like, son, this is something that you do every day. How do you not know this?
Yeah,
And it's like we do our life the same way. We get around a person and then we try to figure them out instead of learning who the person is.
yeah, yeah. Okay. All right. Those of you who are on Facebook land or on YouTube land, you can always write a comment. You can always
You know,
click like,
Facebook no more.
click, huh?
No, Facebook no more.
We are always on Facebook. I
But we
put
don't.
stuff up there.
Yeah,
You
but
just
we
don't
don't.
know.
We're not posting on Facebook.
So those of you who are on YouTube,
There we go. Now we talking.
you can click like, click comment,
And
tag,
share.
and share. Make sure that you go to all of our social platforms. And if you have any questions or comments, you can always write them, or you can always go on to our site and you can press, not our site, oh my God. Why am I doing this right now? I'm being tight-toned
You
today.
nervous?
Sometimes, like, because when you're talking about yourself and you're kind of just airing out these things, I just feel like
You're
it,
vulnerable.
I'm being very vulnerable, not too vulnerable. There are not many questions being asked, which is good. And sometimes I feel like I am not equipped to even talk about it. Like like what could I actually teach someone about what a woman is when you have all these, like in my mind I'm thinking, femininity and all these things that I was, well, just let me, you asked the
Go ahead, go ahead.
question,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
and all those things that I am not. I remember our daughter asked us, why are you smiling like this? Our daughter, she asked us, because she's real tomboyish, and she said, would a guy love me even though I don't want to wear all these dresses and things like that? She's like, Mom, I'm not gay, but I don't want to have to wear a dress and all these things. And I said to her, yeah, a man will love you because Daddy, loved me. He found me in a really, really dark place, and he was still able to see me in a different way. I said, as you get older, you'll change some things, but you'll still have, your tomboy in you. Like I like to throw the football. I play football with our son. I play kickball. I play basketball. I do all these different things, out there just as well as you do. I like to get in the mud. I like to shoot guns. I like to do all those things. But does that make me less of a woman because I like to do those things?
People get on my nerve. They take the activity and try to make the person something else. It's something you like to do. Some people like to cook. Yeah, a lot of men like to cook. Do they make them gay?
Mhm.
No. Some men like to just make clothes. Some men like to do certain things that we like. What? You a man? Yes, but that don't make them what you make it to be,
Mhm.
out to be. So we need to stop judging people by the activity that they do, and begin to look at them for who they really are.
And another thing with that is that she also said, I thought that I was gay because I played basketball. I said, who told you that? And that's a thing as well. Like, we're putting all these labels on people instead of just allowing them, to be. Sometimes words do have power. We can speak a thing just because you see the outer appearance of someone. It doesn't mean that that's who they are.
Because I know not Bart, a barber, but a beautician. He does wonderful hair, but he married and have 3 girls.
Hmm.
And he does, and people be in line to get their hair done by this man.
Yeah.
But he's no near where gay. He has happily married to a woman. So people need to stop category things as this belongs to a man, this belongs to a woman. Because I'll be a truth, the man is the best chef is men. Some of the best chef.
Well, I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. Well, I mean, you say that, but
I said some of the best chef.
your mama showed you how to cook. Now,
Oh,
I
yes.
don't
Oh
know.
no, I don't speak.
I don't
That
know.
woman go down there and make
I don't know.
a tuna taste like a steak. So hey, but we too busy giving people a title for something that's an activity. Something
Yeah.
that's a hobby. I like to play. I like to play golf. Yeah, I mean, oh, what, you bougie? No, I'm not bougie. I like to play golf.
You just came up with something like that. You trying to think of something else.
Yeah, but the thing is we too busy putting a label on things instead of this. Like you are a wonderful wife. You have things to offer people. You have things to show people. You have things that you can teach people. But the thing is we too busy say I can't do it because because I saw this person over here and did this here, and I don't do that. No, everybody do not learn by that.
Yeah, and I'm realizing, like the other day, I looked on the wall and I saw my license, for the state, and I was like, oh my God, I did this immediately, like right after school, right after I got out of college, and I started college later. I remember the kids used to say, "Mommy, you've been in school forever." I'm like, "Yes, I had to, be home to raise you, so I had to take classes like piece by piece by piece in order to get to where I needed to be." And once I was, fully in, once you guys got in, to a place where I could, finish completely, we just went for the long haul. And that's how I like to see how I've grown. It was piece by piece by piece by piece, breaking off these layers of me in order for me to be, a wonderful woman. And it's not even to be what society says that I should be, because
Right.
they are always looking at the outer appearance, but you never know what a person is like on the inside until you get to know them. So I have a really good friend, and she said that I could. She said I could share this. My best friend was married for 20 something years. She was married for 20 something years, and let me tell you, she's beautiful. She took care of her kids. They're all in college now. Well, one of them has graduated from college, and she's about to get married. The other two are one is in college, and the other one is a straight A student in high school, getting ready to graduate. And she's doing still a phenomenal job with these children. And I would say any man would be, privileged to have you. And because you're doing, I've known her for over 20 something years. She's doing everything. She cooks, she cleans, she takes care of the children. Like, they're not all over the place. Teenagers are gonna do little simple things here and there, but they've been to college, they've done the whole American thing. She has a nice big 6 bedroom house. And she doesn't have a fancy job, but her husband divorced her because it still wasn't enough for him. It still wasn't enough. So I'm like, when they say the role of a woman, what does that mean? What does that mean? Because we can do all these things for man and for ourselves and for the house and for doing this and doing that. And it's still never, sometimes never enough.
I believe because that man don't have no self value, or he don't see self value within that relationship. Because I know another relationship was saying similar where the guy actually divorced his wife. And when I talked to him about it, he was like, I regret it because I realized I had a good woman. Sometimes you don't know what you have until you lose it.
And that's what her husband said too. And she was like, dude, this is over.
Yeah.
This is over. How do you get into, these relationships and you put these roles like in our house? I can cook. I always bring this up. I can cook.
The lasagna is bad for
I'm not making it, but I can cook, right? But I hate it's hot in that kitchen. It's hot in there. But my husband, he cooks better than me in a sense. I guess we're kind of like the same, but he does a better job than me, I think. And so the kids, when they're hungry, they're like, Daddy,
because they
can
know
you
she ain't
cook?
getting up.
I'm not getting up.
But when she do go in the kitchen, she do throw down.
But the thing is that my role? Is that what I'm supposed to do? Am I
No,
supposed to do that?
that's the house responsibility. You over in the house, that's their responsibility. That's the husband's responsibility, the wife's responsibility. Ain't no one person that have to cook all the time. You the designated cooker. Like designated driver. You go out to a club. You the designated driver, so you can't drink. So you tell me I cannot enjoy being married. So this is my designated job to be in the kitchen cooking,
Yeah.
cleaning. Come on, can I enjoy being married too? Also,
Yeah, absolutely. So, we've taught the children how to cook. If you're hungry, you get in there, you make yourself something to eat. We'll buy the food, go in there and cook it. Me and your
right?
daddy want to go out on a date. We want to do, so when we read this Proverbs 31 woman, the main thing that I take away from this, all the stuff is amazing, but the main thing that I take away that I've learned in our marriage is that Proverbs 31 and 26. She is careful about what she says. Guarding the tongue is an important theme throughout the book of Proverbs. This is what I wrote. And when she opens her mouth, she opens it with wisdom, and the teaching of kindness is on her tongue. That is, that's my takeaway mostly from Proverbs, because I've realized that when I don't speak to you, if I want to get you to do something, like the kids will say, get mommy to do it because she's daddy's favorite and she can get daddy to do what we want. And I'm like, it depends on what you want. And but yes, I can talk to your dad and we can see, but it's the kindness, it's the gentleness, it's the way that I approach you. And and it's not even all about sex or anything like that. It's the way that I approach you with my words. And it has to make sense to you for you to agree to say, okay, kids, we'll go ahead and do this. Would you agree?
Yeah, yeah. I would agree 100%. When I'm looking at you and thinking about it, you know, The question I would ask you is, because I know you talk to a lot of different people, what's going on in a lot of these relationships that the woman doing everything they're supposed to be doing, but the men feel like they're just annoying her, or they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing. How do they make the woman feel in that relationship where she's doing everything in her heart to provide this love, a peaceful home, everything he needs, but he's not being receptive of it. How do she feel on that level?
Well, I can only, like you said, I can talk about what other women have shared with me. I mean, how would it feel to you if you're putting out everything and I'm not receptive to what you're doing? It will suck, right?
Yeah.
You have these women who are doing everything. They're trying. I mean, sexually, they're doing backflips. They're cooking. They're cleaning. We just, talked about that. We're doing, some of these women are doing a lot of different things, and it's still not receptive to the man. We were watching this podcast. Oh my gosh, I don't know what the guy's name is, but his show is absolutely amazing.
Future wifey.
Dear future wifey, oh my gosh, this guy didn't ask me to promote nothing. I don't know him, but I'm telling you, you guys should go on this show and watch this guy. It's called Dear Future Wifey. And so there was a woman on the show who had given, and I'm telling you, she was the Proverbs 31, 32, 35, 30, 29,
All of them.
all of them. And her husband, he was just, boom, stone faced.
Yeah.
And he's told her, well, I never loved you. What, dude, after, I almost said another word. After 10 years
of marriage
with children, with not big kids, but babies.
Yeah.
You're now telling me that you never loved me?
He felt unadequate because he couldn't pay the bills.
He said he couldn't pay, but she was paying, she said, I could pay for it. Until you can get where
she even fed into his business, helping with his business and everything. He didn't take part of his own business. Or every dream he had, he just, well, I want to sell this. She got there and sell it. Where you at? Oh, I'm home. Why am I here selling your product?
So he went to go and he wanted to sell shirts. He wanted to sell water. He wanted to sell cups. He wanted to do all these things. And you know what she did? She was right there with him. And then he said, no, I'm not going to do it. Well, we have a caller. Let's see if we can bring this caller on. Hello, caller. Are you there? Okay. How can I help you, caller? Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's out the door.
Yes, true.
Yeah.
No, thank you, thank you.
Thank you so much for commenting. Thank you. So, so what do you think about, what the caller said? I thought it was interesting that that he said that first of all they've been married for 39 years.
It makes sense because, like I tell people, when I come home from work, and just because she didn't do it, she may not feel like it that day. Nah, I remember when my mother-in-law passed. Oh man, she was in and out. Guess who had to stand up and do everything? Me. You know why? She needed that moment for herself. That's so she get herself together. It wasn't about, oh, I'm doing everything. Da, 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 da. No, no, no. I'm here to help you. I am your husband. It's my responsibility to hold you up when you need to be held. It's my responsibility to hold your head straight. That's so you won't keep on dropping your neck down. So I don't understand how a lot of men just don't understand that concept.
So I like also how he says, and I was writing as he was talking, when he said that she takes care of the inside and he takes care of the outside. So, sounds like she dedicated herself to, being, the stay at home mom. And there are women that do that, that are that are much better with being able to take care of the house versus having to go outside. Because when we first got married, daycare is expensive.
Oh, Jesus, yes, it was.
If I would have worked, you would always say, no, your money that you're making is not enough to even do anything but pay for daycare. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'll work and I'll do the overtime and you just take care of my children. Not that I was better, not that you were worse, but because you saw and you were also that upstanding man to say, no, you are my responsibility.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm going to take care of you. Everything that I own now, and I don't know if women are even willing to even want to be in this position now because we see the independent woman. But everything that I own is because you bought it for me.
Right. And just because I bought it for her, I'm not an Indian giver. It's hers. Then at the same time, I didn't just buy it, we bought it. Because it came out the same account.
Yeah, it does.
And just because I go to work, guess who earned the money? She still earned money.
Yeah.
Because guess what?
It costs
It costs to take care of these kids. It costs to take care of this house. It's costs to take care of me. So
Yeah.
at the same time, we take care of each other. It's our responsibility to help each other. That's why I'm like, I don't understand. They say, oh, we need two separate accounts. To each their own. I understand the concept, but some people do it on a point of trying to keep their finance away from each other.
Yeah.
And I know some marriage that works that way, but some marriages also have two accounts, but they know about everything in each account.
Yeah.
But maybe you running short, here you go, put this in your account.
Yeah.
And I can understand that, but then you got
And
some people that
I do that. Like, so, I have a business and I have a private practice. And we were running low on something. And you were like, I don't know how I'm going to do it. I ain't got no money. I was like, what you talking about? What do you mean you don't have no money? He was like, I don't have that. And I was like, oh, I was like, well, I got it. He was like, you got some money? I was like, yeah, I got money.
But then what I try to tell you, keep that in your account, don't worry about it. I'll figure it out.
But I send it over. I'm like, here, you have access to this account, and like, he's better with money than I am anyway. And I always, when people say, well, how do you do that, work that with your accounts? I just think that he's better with it, and I know that I trust him to know that if he is spending any money, it's because it's either the house needs it, the children need it, or the dog needs something. He's always last to do something for himself, and I'm always like, babe, you gotta do something for yourself. He's like, no, are y'all okay? Did you have the things that you need, and did you have the stuff that you need? And I'm like, I have it, but what do you have?
I grew up in a home where we was unfortunate, and I watched how my mom, went without just to make sure we had. And for me,
I'm not gonna go without, so I can.
Oh no, you ain't going.
I'm not selfish.
For me, I just make sure everybody in the house is well taken care of. before I even do, and even before I eat, they'll tell you I fix their plate first, I fix mine last. And then even if my wife cook, I'm like, go ahead and fix their plate first. I eat last. I don't mind doing that, even though there is enough food. But it's just a concept that I make sure everybody.
And that's the thing. Like, that's the thing that they're always posting on Facebook. Who eats first? In some households, the man does eat first. You've worked all day, and you always tell me to fix their plate first, but I don't. I always come in and I give you whatever I'm going to give you first, and then I'll tell them, y'all come on and sit down and eat. But I always give it to you first, and even the girls, they understand this concept of make sure daddy gets something to eat, make sure that you put his plate to the side for work and things like that, because this is you work hard for us.
Yeah.
And even though I work as well, but we still honor you, because I wouldn't have the things that I have if you hadn't said, okay, I'm going to put you through school, I'm going to make sure that you get the thing. Like, you put me through school.
But
Who does that?
But you missed the biggest picture of the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
I would not help you good. I would not have been able to put you through school if you didn't help me get to the academy.
Oh.
If you didn't push me to pursue this job I have now.
Mm-hmm.
So everything, if we help each other, it's no one sided. We went together, came together, like the caller said, and worked together and said, hey, you do X, Y, Z, I do this here.
Yeah.
We didn't try to wash the dishes together at the same time, washing the same plate. No, we say, okay, you wash, I dry.
Yeah.
Or, you wash the car, I wash the inside.
Yeah.
Or you clean the house, you cut the grass. We work together as a team. And at the same time, give her the opportunity to enjoy watching me work. Oh, look at my sexy husband cutting the grass.
That's what I be saying.
I don't know, that's how I say
What I say? I say, ooh, look at him. That's what I say. I don't say that. I just say, oh my God, this is gonna be stank when he come in the house and I got to wash these doggone clothes. And I realized a long time ago that if I take care of you, you're gonna take care of me. I can't let you fail, and because if you fail, then I fail. So we work together, and I like that there is no competition. Like, I'm not smarter than you, you're not smarter than me. We are smarter together.
Yes.
When we make certain decisions together, like I used to think that, and you had to get me out of that. You were like, you are not single anymore. Like, stop thinking like a single woman. You're
I
married.
said a single wife.
Yes. You said stop thinking like you're a single wife. You are married.
Sure.
I'm here. I'm here to help you. Like, run those things by me. You don't have to think by yourself.
Yeah.
When I started doing that, I'm telling you, the pressure, it would just leave. But every man is not like him. Every woman is not like me. And even the things that I do, some women may say, no, that's too much, or that's too little.
Mm-hmm.
You're not doing enough. But what works for us has been working for us for 16 years. We figured it out for ourselves, not for everybody else. There is no perfect person that's out there that is able to do just everything on their own. God did not design us to do this thing alone.
Correct.
So the role of a woman or the role of a wife would be, for me, number one, and I think for you as well, and even as the caller said, is to respect her husband.
Yeah.
And if
Respect
I'm
it.
respecting you, I see that not only do I get more than what I ask for,
Get more and beyond.
I get that. Yeah, I get more and beyond. And then our house is very calm. They say happy wife, happy life. No, I say happy home, happy family.
Amen.
Happy life. It's not just if the children are all in a disarray, it's out of control. So everybody, we all work cohesively together. Those of you who have any comments, I'm sorry, baby. Those of you who have any comments or concerns, or if you wanted to call in, you can call in at 754-303-9976 before we end here in the next 10 minutes. You can also, as I was trying to say before, you can go on to our email if you wanted to send us an email, and it's under Let's Talk Marriage, the number 1 at gmail.com.
We put it in the comments.
Or what you want me to type now?
No, don't type.
I'm gonna put it in the comments. Go ahead, baby. You got shit to say.
You know, beyond we look at our family and look at our life. I like sharing with you what being married to my wife because we don't try to make it difficult for each other no more. We don't try to challenge each other as I'm better. We know our role, we respect our role, we love our role. Our marriage, we figure the scientist role in our marriage, the science role in our marriage. Like
Wait, you said what? The science
the
role?
scientific role in our marriage.
What's the scientific role in our
What make
marriage?
our marriage work?
What's scientific about it?
That we make it work.
What? Wait, what? Rewind that. Maybe I wasn't listening.
We figure out what make our marriage work, like this. How you say the science, like the chemical in our
Oh,
marriage.
I see what you're saying.
Okay.
But you got to break it down to the people.
Okay, I apologize. Like
I speak your language.
yes, I know. Like I had a discussion at work one day with one of the young men, and what he was saying is, "Oh, there's no such thing as a perfect marriage."
Mm-hmm.
And he asked me, "said, Carver, do you believe there's a perfect marriage?" I said, "Yes, it is." I said, "Every marriage is perfect." I said, "But we do have our issues inside our marriage." I said, "Just like when you make a cake and put all the ingredients in it, you say, oh, it's perfect." Now, making that cake sometimes might be chaos. But when it comes to the oven, it's perfect. It's not. So why do we sit here and believe that there's no perfect marriage? There is a perfect marriage. It's just the fact is we have to work at it to make it perfect. We're going to have our stumbling blocks. We're going to have our issues. We're going to have our difficulties. But that do not destroy the marriage. People destroy their marriage.
Wow. Yeah, this is true. People who are not like I always talk to people when I do my sessions. I always talk about emotional intelligence. When you are in a marriage and you don't know, even when you're by yourself, forget even being married first. When you're by yourself and you don't know, like before you and I got married, I was in Atlanta and I was living my best life, and but I was tired of doing the things that I was doing. So I left Atlanta and I asked God. I said, God, I'm sick of this. I was dealing with so many women; it was crazy. And I said, God, I'm tired of this. Like this cannot be my life. I'm not in a committed relationship with anybody. I'm constantly fighting back and forth in jail. Like it was the dumbest thing. And I kept saying, I was like, I'm being to these women something that they want. Like they wanted to be with a man, but they were trying to shape me into this fashion of being this man that they wanted me to be. And I was like, I can't deal with this. So I said, God, just like help me. And immediately, the very next day, I lost my job.
Mm-hmm.
I called my best guy friend, and he's still my good friend, Shelton Bass Knight. I absolutely love Shelton. And he said, Baby, he said, I don't think this is for you. He said, I see you leaving. And then when I got ready to leave, because I gave him all my stuff, I was like, you have everything in this house. And there was this man that walked up to me. We were getting ready to go get something to eat, and this guy says, he was like, oh my God. And me and Shelton looked at each other, and I was like, what's going on with this dude? And this man said, oh man, he was like, God has a husband for you, and you have some beautiful children. Oh my goodness, the woman that you're going to be down the line is not who I'm looking at now. He was like, oh my God. He kept saying, oh God. And he was just praising God. And me and Shelton looked at each other. He was like, huh?
Little did you know.
He just started laughing. Oh my God. And we started laughing. And little did I know, the very prayer that I prayed for, I didn't think that I would be with a man. I thought that I would be with a woman that because that was my life.
But God didn't have that for you.
But God didn't have that for me. And I prayed and I prayed and I continued. I asked my grandmother, could I come back home? And she said yes. And I came home and I started to go to church. And I knew my answers were in the church house. And I kept going to church. And then that's where the Bushman
Nah.
came from behind the drums. And I mean, you pursued me like I have never seen nobody pursue a woman before in my life.
When you find yourself a good thing, you don't let it go.
I see, but the thing is you knew I was a good thing, and I
wasn't
thought I
for
was a
you
piece
to
of
know.
crap.
It was not for you to know. It was for
Yeah.
me to know.
Yeah.
When I'm listening to your story, it reminded me of last week when I said we tried to tell God where we're going to go, and God ended up pushing us where He wants us to go, no matter what, how we do it. Then every time you try to deviate off the road, we end up going back again to where God left us at, where we left God at, and Him for Him to direct you to that same path He wants to go anyway.
Yeah.
And look where you in that path.
Yeah, I was running a lot from a lot of things, and I even tried to run from you, and then ended right back
Oh, and I told you wasn't going nowhere.
where I needed to be. I think I'm kidnapped.
This-
You
one
kidnapped
one-
me.
one
For
day,
16 years, I'm kidnapped.
I remember one day, I don't know if we had just got married. Sarah was just born. Phil Faith was just born at that time, and this is around the time we were going through turmoil in our marriage. And so my promised I was gonna take her to the movies. I'll take my mom to the movies. Taisha said, "Man, you a text time out. Oh, I want a divorce."
I said that.
You sure? Let me finish. So I look at her, I look at my mom. She look at me, she said, "What's wrong?" So I saw my mom a text. She just smiled and just kept on about that. She said, "Whatever," it's like that, you know. So I dropped my mama home, and I got to the house. I slept on in the den, and I got up next morning. I went in the bedroom and started putting the clothes off. She said, "What you doing?" I said,
Oh, this is a lie.
No, it's the truth. I said,
It's a lie.
she said, "What you doing?" I said, "Oh, I'll get our clothes together." "What you talking about?" "You gotta go see a lawyer." "For what?"
This is a lie.
"You're gonna get divorced, right?" She said, "Oh, wait. Let's talk about this."
Your recollection of that day.
Listen. You never brought up that word again, divorce again. You know, boy, that up, Dumbo.
I'm gonna stop you from telling stories.
No, she's trying to use things to, I guess, to get what she wants. And this time she wants, I pull a bluff.
This is a
Even
lie.
though I was not going to a divorce lawyer, but I had to show her, say, "Hold on, stop using that word because
I don't even believe you. This
you
is
ain't
a
gotta
lie.
believe."
These are lies.com. You telling stories. I don't now I'm not gonna trust your words because you're lying. That is not what happened.
That what happened. I promise that what happened.
I did used to use that a lot because I knew you loved me. Like, why was I playing games like that? Like, that's a game that I thought that I could play, but I don't remember that.
Yeah,
I don't remember.
I remember you laying in the bed, you woke up, talk, "What did you doing?" I said, "We gotta get ready to do it." Actually, I woke you up. I said, "All right, get on up. What's going on?" "Gotta make us an appointment. We gotta go see the lawyer." "Lawyer for what?" "You said you want a divorce, right?" She said, "Hold on, wait. Let's talk about this." From that day, it been my faith is 13 years. She didn't use that word divorce no more.
Yes, I did.
You use it, but you ain't using the point where you want divorce.
You know what? You're full of crap. I don't even believe this. I don't trust your words no more. Anywho, it's almost time for us to get up out of here.
It is. Yeah, I enjoy it. It was fun. One thing I would take from this is, man, listen to you.
Listen to him for what? Because apparently I wanted a divorce and I don't even remember that.
Just let me finish.
Go ahead,
You
child.
just jumping on me already. No, you won't be. Listen to your wife. Listen to her heart. Try to meet her where she at to help get her to the next level in her life. We all here to help each other get to the next level in our life. But we can't get there if we don't work together. Just like my wife had to do it for me, I had to do it for her, we do it for each other. If we don't work together to team up to battle the enemy, we end up leaving the enemy with all the weapons, all the cards in hand to swap out. So if we pull together as a team and work together and stop the enemy from coming into our marriage, you realize the little thing that you thought was a problem, it's not a problem at all.
Absolutely. Well, guys, we're going to go ahead and bid you adieu. We thank you to everyone who commented on the side, who didn't make the comment list, but it's okay. We thank you, Henrietta and Natasha Deloach and Lionel Nelson over there at A Father's Note every Sunday night at 7. He comes on before us.
Yo, you said it right. Sunday at 7.
Because last time we said every night.
Yeah. No, but you said every night.
But then you also rebutted and said, yeah, you can go and see his content.
You got enough contents that you can see it every night
at 7 o'clock.
If you want to do it.
So we thank you guys for praying for us. We're still yet learning. We're young, and we don't know everything. But we do know when my husband decided that he wanted to do something like this, I was a little apprehensive about doing it because I'm like, what in the world can we share or say to people that they would even listen to us? You know, like we were told that we should never even be together. But
It was not for them to say.
you know, we're here, and we have amazing stories to share.
Yeah.
We have overcome a lot of different obstacles that we didn't think that we would be able to overcome. We've started a business together, and we're on to something bigger and better as well. And I'm telling you, it has to be. This is how I, you know, I know God is real in two ways. Number one, I can have a baby. Number two is because the more I keep, it's like I'm trying to, if I try to leave him, I'm always right back in the same place with him. So I know that it's God. So with that being said, you guys can always find us on all social platforms: Spotify, iHeartRadio. We're on here on YouTube.
Yeah.
We have some content that we actually post on Facebook as well on our Let's Talk Marriage page. And also we are on Instagram. Make sure that you guys tag, like, comment, and share
Please.
the next time you're here, but also subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Yes.
You know, so that you can gain more content, number one, and also be able to send other people here. It may not be for you. You may not get anything from this, but somebody else that you know that is going through something and that may need to hear something, you know, in this moment in time, and that they need it, just share it with them.
Yeah.
You're pointing. What do you want me to do?
Mhm.
Oh, okay. So, with that being said, we're going to go ahead and bid you guys adieu. Why are you tapping? That is really throwing me off. You want to say something?
No, man.
Do you
No.
want to close with something? You should.
No, I love you.
There's always a hidden agenda with you.
You just knew all that.
Stop touching me.
My love.
All right, guys. You guys stay prayerful. Continue to pray for us as we continue to pray for
Be
you.
blessed.
And we love you all with the love of the Lord. And there is nothing that you can do about it. Stay blessed. Thank you.